Good afternoon, Michael Green here from Off-Road Experience. We're up on 108 right now. It's the 13th of February at 4:25 p.m. and this is our snow report. And the old forecast is, tonight's forecast is dark continuing throughout the night with widely scattered light in the morning hours. Anyway, as you can see, it's snowing. This is Highway 108. There's a chain control. It's 25 miles an hour through here. Interstate 80 has got changed from Baxter to Nevada state line. There's even snow in Reno last we checked. Highway 50 changed. We hear that 88's probably closed. That I would check. Call Caltrans road phone, and before you go out and venture into this stuff. We just passed a plow 10 minutes ago. The screwiest thing was the plow was coming westbound, and I'm pointing westbound right now, and as I was going eastbound, there was a pickup truck in my lane because my lane was plowed and his wasn't. Total stupidity and absolutely dangerous. We're in a dead zone here where we're at. So as you can see, I haven't passed a soul here in 10 minutes. CHP you can't get hold of by radio or by telephone. There's no cell zone here for some reason. Anyway, as you can see, we're driving a 1993 Land Rover Defender today, and we've got the tires for up here. These are 235/85 R16 high-speed knobbies, but they're directional knobbies. And they're fantastic in the mud, they're fantastic in the snow, believe it or not. But no matter what you drive, I even carry chains. I have two sets. One are really obnoxious, one for busting ice, and then another set are just standard chains. Always carry your chains. Carry your first aid kits, your kit in the car in case you get into big trouble and you slide off the road. At least you've got food, you've got water, you've got a first aid kit, you've got some way of getting hold of someone. So you always need to have one way of charging the phone and not become the family that was trying to cross far northern California into Nevada years ago and ended up having to hunker down for over a week, stranded in the snow in their Subaru. That wasn't a good ending on that deal. I won't go into it, but everybody has a different car for different seasons or different mind thought, and not every car, including you guys with your four-wheel drive, aren't supposed to be up here in the snow with some of this stuff. The world's worst vehicle for snow is a pickup truck. Why? Well, pickup truck's designed to hold weight, carries things. So in the back, there's no weight on the back axle. And the heavier, dirtier the truck, the heavier the springs, the less likely the axle is to follow the road. If it doesn't follow the road, you don't get any traction. And then you get the ego guys that my whatever brand will go through everything. Well, probably not. Once you get ice underneath, there's nothing. It's the shortest sets of chains to get through it. It's coming down again. Wow. Cars such as Subarus and like-type vehicles that are all-time four-wheel drive, these are not four-wheel drive cars, people. This is an all-wheel drive, which means at any one time, the only wheel that is driving is one out of four. And today's vehicles now have traction control and ABS. It's getting bad. And the traction control will stop undue wheel spin, but only to a degree. At that point, you need to get out of this weather and get somewhere safe. Now, I did a class last summer with a number of the new Subaru Outback four-wheel drive cars, which even come with some decent tires on them, and that's a lot better, but it still doesn't have lock-in axles and other things, but it's better than the other car for adverse conditions. You get up here with a four-wheel drive, some of these four-wheel drives are, I don't understand the mentality of the manufacturers, where I'm probably going. You have to stop and lock hubs. You have to lock hubs because the manufacturers never figured out how to make the transfer case freewheel. So don't push your luck in two-wheel drive just because you own a Jeep or a Bronco or whatever. Stop and lock the hubs. When you have slippery conditions like this, you won't get axle wind up because the tires are allowed to slip in the snow or slip on the wet road to some degree. It will not wreck your transfer case. This thing, however, is full-time four-wheel drive. This has got the same setup as the Range Rover from 1970, and it's nearly unstoppable. It's full-time four-wheel drive, has a center diff lock, so when you get into adverse conditions, at whatever speed, just pull the lever, and it locks the center diff. You just have to burp the throttle, and you're driving everything, driving. And then this one's got locking front and rear axles. Now, for getting out of a situation, fine, lock the back one. Don't lock the front one in these conditions. You're asking for big trouble. But you should never have cars up here, guys in Jeeps that have modified and have a Detroit locker in the snow. You're asking for big trouble. Those things are just absolutely dangerous. I've taught classes. I've watched guys up on Donner trying to get home and drive into guardrails with this setup. Regarding tires for these conditions, there's better tires out there than you think. One of the best places actually to get online is go to TireRack.com, and no, they're not sponsoring this, but it's a good place. Punch in the name of your car, the model, ding, and your zip code, unfortunately, and type in snow tires and see what pops up. There's some fantastic tires for your actual street car, because people like Michelin, Dunlop, Continental, they spend a lot of money in Europe testing these things in very iced up conditions. They've got some absolutely fabulous tires for you to play with if you live up in the snow belt, or you're up here a lot, have property up here. You can have one set of wheels with tires for the winter and one set for everything else. Anyway, I'm going to get the hell out of here because it's cold and my hands are freezing, and we're going to jump in the Land Rover and head somewhere warm and get something to eat. So we'll see you next time. Please like and subscribe, tell your friends, and leave us a couple of cool comments. Thank you. Bye-bye.